The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and thank you for joining me this Monday evening. On the eve of Monday Night Football, we are an hour away to kick off. We're going to get a quick show in, and we're going to do it right and get you set for the game. Joining me tonight, straight to the show, our special guest tonight from the post-game Huddle podcast. Please welcome Ryan Harris. Ryan, thank you for joining the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We've got a lot of news to get into, buddy, and first things first, we definitely got a lot of excitement, especially with Monday night. Huge game against the Buffalo Bills. We've got so much to talk to about that, but I definitely want to welcome you and thank you for joining us on the show, and wanted to give you a chance to let the fans find where you are.
Absolutely. You can find me on Twitter. My personal Twitter is @RyanHarris662. Again, that's @RyanHarris662. I have a couple of podcasts. One is the Post Game Huddle. You can follow that, please, at Post Game Huddle. And then also I got a brand new Titans podcast called The Jump Pass, and you can follow that as well at The Jump Pass TN. TN as abbreviated like Tennessee.
I'm definitely catching up on some of your stuff. Really great. I enjoy listening to, especially the Jump Pass. I really hope to hear more from you, and I encourage everybody, go check his stuff out. It's great. Dude's dynamite.
Appreciate it.
All right, sir, you ready to get in our top news today?
Let's do it.
Let's throw it on a little screen. And in our breaking top news of the day, let's go ahead and start with the first and obvious. It appears that Dak Prescott has come with a calf sprain. He left Gillette Stadium with a possible boot on, from what reports said, and it looks like it might not be a serious injury, but speculation. So, Ryan, do you think that this is a big deal or a little deal?
Well, for a guy like Dak Prescott that's coming from a season-ending injury, of course it's going to be a big deal, but I don't think it's that much of a big deal. It's, the NFL. It's hard to go through a whole season injury-free, but I'm pretty sure that the Cowboys are going to take every precaution that they can to get Dak ready for games down the road. So I don't think it's that much of a big deal.
Especially, they're keeping a close eye on the situation. When he started training camp, we knew it was going to be a huge issue, especially coming back from a major injury last year. And the hopes of all Cowboy fans are pinned on just if Dak Prescott can stay healthy. But do you think at some point that Ezekiel Elliott's going to have to pick up the slack a little bit more than he's doing right now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. As the season is getting closer and closer to, cold weather football, they definitely going to have to use Zeke more. They're definitely going to have to use Tony Pollard more. The Cowboys are a well-balanced offense, so I don't think that a lot should be on Dak's shoulders from a game-to-game basis like it was last season. The defense seems like it's improved, especially with Diggs getting the interception in every single game he's played this season. I think that that Dak Prescott should be able to kind of let the other guys take over, and Kellen Moore should be able to use Zeke more, use Pollard more, and be able to run the football.
And I'm glad you brought the defense up. Diggs is just looking phenomenal, and I definitely see him getting a Pro Bowl nod this year. But also, Micah Parsons, to me, has been just a nice breath of fresh air for that defense. Do you think that they can continue this momentum, especially with a tough stretch coming up?
Well, that's going to be the biggest question, because when you look at the Cowboys' schedule so far, they haven't really played anybody other than the Super Bowl champion Bucks. They just taken advantage of a very easy schedule. The Panthers look like they're a little bit overrated. The Patriots look like a team that's still going through a transition from the Brady era. So they just taking advantage of the teams that they're playing against, and like you said, we'll see how they match up against the better teams in the league. But they look like they're for real, and Michael Parsons has been a really good draft pick so far in the first 6 games of the season.
Dallas continues to roll. Will dem boys make it? We'll find out. Getting to some quick comments real quick. Got to say hi to Bryce Pratt. Says, what's up, man? How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show. And our good friend Let's Tighten Up podcast. What's good, fellas? Ryan becoming a superstar.
What's up? What's going on? Let's Tighten Up podcast. Very good people out there. What's up, Bryce?
You definitely are becoming a superstar. Been on, I think, 3 shows in the last 4 days.
Yeah, I know how those artists feel when they get like a new album or something coming out and they have to go to all these radio shows. So yeah, I definitely understand how they feel now.
You're definitely on the Kendrick Lamar tour, just putting out your wares. We'll get to our next story. Right now, for the Cleveland Browns, things seem to be getting even worse. What Baker Mayfield might possibly have torn and done more damage to his throwing shoulder. It also looks that Kareem Hunt will be going on the IR with a calf injury. So, Ryan, is this a huge blow to the Browns team that is already starting to try and gasp for air?
It is. They already lost Chubb. Don't know if when Chubb's going to be back. Losing Hunt, which was their replacement, which is a good replacement. And then, as you mentioned, Baker Mayfield, getting hurt. Odell Beckham getting hurt. Their defense, JOK, they're one of their high draft picks. He got hurt. He's going to be out for a while. So the Browns are dealing with a lot of injuries, and it couldn't come at a worse time because they're starting to play some teams in the divisions very, very soon. And they were one of the favorites to win the AFC North. So it looks very, very don't look very good for them right now.
And the defense is just not as what people have expected, where people were saying that this could be a top 5 defense right when preseason was starting. Now it just looks like that this defense might be a weakness for this team. Do you think it's something that they can fix, or is it just an issue they can put a Band-Aid on?
I think the problem with the defense is some of his injuries, and then their secondary. Their secondary is really struggling. It's very young still and inexperienced. Denzel Ward hasn't played well. Greedy Williams hasn't really played well. He can't stay healthy for whatever reason. I just think that the Browns right now are in a position where I don't think their defense is going to get any better. I just think that with experience, it has the potential to get better. But right now they're struggling, and when they're playing against high octane offenses, they're really struggling to kind of hold those teams to from getting touchdowns.
And a tough schedule the Browns are facing going forward. Their playoff hopes right now, what they seem to be possibly maybe a 2 seed, they look lucky if they're probably going to get into a wild card.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the surprise of the AFC West and how good a couple of those teams have been so far this season. The Chargers and the Raiders, just to name a couple of teams. That's gonna eliminate one of these teams that were in the playoffs last year. Probably gonna be on the outside looking in. Maybe the Browns might be that team this year.
Cleveland fans holding their breath. Could they be looking on the outside in, like you said? We'll wait and see. Moving to our next news story, some major interest from Cam Newton. In the last couple of days, it's been reported that the Seahawks and the Miami Dolphins have talked to Cam Newton about possibly being their quarterback. So, Ryan, what team do you think would be the better fit for Cam?
To really be honest, I think Seattle will be the better fit because they got the weapons. They got 2 really good receivers in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. They do have a decent running game if Carson can be available. Alex Collins is a capable running back as well, but I know their defense got some issues, Seattle. But I think Cam is the kind of quarterback that still got something in the tank. I think he's an upgrade over Geno Smith, as you can prove on Sunday Night Football. Geno. He had his struggles. He did some decent things, but he's so limited as a quarterback. And Cam, he's limited as a quarterback as well, but he's so much more of a weapon than Geno is.
And I agree with that. And it would appear Bryce Pratt would say he thinks the Miami Dolphins. Do you think Miami might, if they were interested, do you think they could have a little more success than what they've been having with Tagovailoa being out?
Well, I thought Tua, when he came back in that London game, I thought he played pretty well. I don't think they lost their game because of Tua. They lost their game because their defense is not the defense that they were last year. They're not creating turnovers. They're not getting after the quarterback, and that's putting pressure on a guy like Tua who still hasn't got enough experience to know the ins and outs of playing quarterback in the National Football League. So I think they're fine with Tua to give them a little bit more opportunity to kind of to be more seasoned in that position. So I don't think the Dolphins' problem is not the quarterback. It's more like the offensive line and the defense.
And while I do like the idea of the Seahawks going after him just as a fix right now until Russell gets healthy, and I think one of the key components is while he's playing, the weather's still decent in Seattle. I wouldn't see him as a long term fit because he's never been really good in colder weather games.
Yeah, you can say that. But at this point, I think Cam is more of the like the Alex Smith type, where he's kind of like you don't want him to win the ball game, but you don't want him to put you don't want to put Cam in positions to lose it either. So I think with Seattle, Pete Carroll likes to run the football. I know they're trying to transition the offense a little bit more to kind of throw the ball more downfield, but I think now with no Russell, they kind of have to go back to their old style in regards of ball control, running the football, converting third and short, things of that nature. And I think that's what Cam is really good at his stage of his career.
Cam Newton possibly on the move. Will it be Seattle? Will it be Miami? We'll find out soon. Moving to our next story. And yeah, I don't want to talk about this guy, but unfortunately, he's making news. And it appears John Gruden's angry with the Washington football team that the investigation led to his firing. Yes, that's a real headline.
Wow. I mean, he has the right to be angry, but at the same time, he's the one that has put those emails out there. So he should be angry at himself for putting himself out there like that.
And no argument here. I don't have any sympathy for him. He's the one that basically put himself in that position. And that doesn't need to be in the NFL. Everything that he said basically was just homophobic and racial and anti-LGBTQ. And the league is expanding out to a broader audience. And they want everyone included. And the way John Gruden put those emails out, it was exclusivity at its finest. And that's what this league doesn't need.
Absolutely. I mean, you kind of nailed it when you said basically in an inclusive world. Everything is about equal opportunity. Everybody getting a fair share in this thing called life, and there's no place in the NFL for that kind of behavior.
Indeed. And the investigation is going to continue to delve deeper into the Washington football team's business, which is what basically brought it to light. And Bruce Allen just continues to become a shadier person in the entire thing as it goes on.
Yeah, Washington has been a mess really since Dan Snyder bought the team back in the late '90s. It's been a clown show. And Snyder basically, with the name change, he didn't want to change the name. He was reluctant on changing the name. And then, of course, as you mentioned, Bruce Allen, who I have no idea how he had his job for so long, but it's starting to kind of make sense why now because of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes with the sexual allegations and things of that nature. It's just a terrible time to be a Washington football team fan, and I don't see it getting better anytime soon until they do away with the Snyder family.
And I agree with that. In week one, the stadium pipes busted and dumped sewage on the fans, and apparently more sewage is being dumped out just in another way.
Well said.
Tighten Up Podcast. John Gruden is pathetic. No argument here. And all the laugh faces. We'll give him all the laugh faces.
Yes.
And finally, our final news story for the top news. It appears that our good friend of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, David Baker, has now officially retired. to meet him. But some fun facts about David Baker. Most people don't know that he was actually mayor of Irvine, California in 1986.
I didn't know
And
that either.
he was actually the commissioner of the Arena Football League from 1996 to 2008.
I did know that though.
And he did good, especially for keeping the league up for that long. And really, the Arena Football, it had a draw, but it just never grew on NFL numbers.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it did produce very good video games as a video game connoisseur like myself.
That it did. Arena Football League was a really fun game, and it's just one of those games you wish had a broader spectrum of an audience. But it's one that just never grew into fruition, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. I I know when I watch TV and I see him, I know somebody's going into the Hall of Fame though.
That man's made many a person break down in tears, and I'll miss seeing him knock on those doors.
Absolutely.
So, David Baker, we thank you for what you've done for the game, and we hope that you've done that whatever you do in business or whatever you're doing with your family, we hope for the best for you, and we hope that we still see you around the game. Well, all right. Great to get all that out of the way. Got our top news done. Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got a game to break down. Titans, Bills, Monday Night Football. Ryan Harris joins me. We're going to break that down. This is the Power Hour. I'm Michael Bishop. Back in 30. The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and thank you for joining me and my friend Ryan Harris on this Monday evening, the eve before Monday Night Football. It's going to be a great game, everybody, and I'm not going to hold anything down. We got to get to it, Ryan. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That's right, friends. It's that time. It is Monday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills taking on the Tennessee Titans tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN and ESPN HD. Well, Ryan, it's great to finally get to this game. I hate when we have a primetime game because you have nothing but time to burn.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I've been thinking about this game pretty much all week, but definitely when I woke up this morning, I was like, man, it's like 12 hours away from game time. It's a long time to think about what could happen, what might happen, and what you hope could happen in regards to the Tennessee Titans.
Well, in regards to the Titans, we definitely have to find some key figures, what they're going to have to do in order to win this game tonight. So, Ryan, what 3 points are the Titans going to have to make sure they do in order to win this game?
Well, the first thing they have to do is they have to win time of possession. Titans currently right now number 3 in the National Football League in time of possession. That's basically the Derrick Henry factor. That's the factor of Ryan Tannehill making plays on third down. They definitely gonna have to win that part of the game because basically what time of possession means is you got the ball longer than the other team does, and this Bills team is very explosive on offense, but they can't be explosive on the sideline. So the Titans definitely need to figure out a way to continue to sustain drives, convert on third down. So that's very important. The second thing is third down defense. The third down defense for the Titans so far this year has been pretty good compared to last year when it was all time bad. But that's going to be very important. The Bills, they get them to 3rd and 7, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 8, whatever the case may be. they gotta generate some kind of pass rush to where Allen maybe makes a mistake, or he has to throw the ball a second or a half a second sooner that he wants to, and that's gonna force maybe deflections, or maybe a sack, or maybe some pressure, and that's gonna help the defense out and give the defense a lot of confidence. And I think one of the most important things, which leads me to my third point, is no turnovers. Got to play turnover-free football.
Yes.
The Titans usually have been pretty good in the turnover department. Not so much this year. The last couple of games has been pretty good, but it's been against bad teams. So it's kind of you kind of take it how you can get it, I guess. But the Titans have had problems against better teams in regards to taking care of the football, and you're not going to win these kind of games losing the turnover battle. So I think it's very important for the Titans to hold on to the ball and give themselves an opportunity to win this ball game.
And I agree with those points, especially the fact that the defense is going to have to force turnovers in order to make a difference. Frustrating Josh Allen at this point is the way that they're going to have a chance to really get some points on the board. And especially if you can take turnovers and make points into those, that's going to be the difference maker. And I'm sorry if I'm getting John Madden here, but you can't go wrong with getting points off turnovers.
They usually are the difference between wins and losses. Usually, the team that turns the ball over the least is usually the team that wins. There's not many games where the team turns the ball over more than the other and still comes out on top. So that usually doesn't happen a whole lot.
And one point I will make, and I think this is important as well, I think especially when we have Julio Jones and A.J. Brown playing tonight, they're going to have to strike fast. They're going to have to get out there and make a drive on the first and second drives. They're going to have to put points up. Because this is a Buffalo offense that is just giving people fits, and it's going to come down to a position where you're going to have to throw your fists first.
Yeah, absolutely. I think first and second down on drives is very important. The Titans have basically this entire season on first and 10, it's always been give the ball to Derrick Henry and see what happens. And more times than not, it's only generating a yard or two, and it's putting your offense behind schedule. You hear with offensive coordinators and head coaches about being on schedule. What that means is, on first down, get five or more yards. Not get a yard or two, because now you're in second and 8, and it's kind of an obvious passing down because you're trying to make up for what you didn't do right on first down. So I think it's very important on first and 10 to kind of mix it up. Do a play action pass on the first play of the drive, or maybe do a read option. That read option with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry, 99% of the time, that generates about 10 or more yards. So I think it's important for Todd Downing to kind of get a good game plan on how to approach first down.
And I agree with that. Todd Downing's really going to have to open the playbook up today. If they're holding something back, they need to put it out today and try and make it effective. And I'd do any kind of strategy if it will throw the Buffalo Bills for a loop. I wouldn't be above even seeing Henry throw the ball in the end zone.
You might see it. You never know. We haven't seen it since 2019, so it's long overdue. Don't be surprised you see somebody like Batson being in the backfield like he did last week against the Jags, where he's in there basically being the wildcat quarterback, taking a snap and maybe generating some offense from there. So they definitely need to open it up a little bit more. Maybe flea flicker. I don't know. Maybe a reverse, things of that nature. Just kind of get the defense on his toes and just kind of make the defense think of what could we what's next from this team. And if you get the defense thinking, that's when you really kind of got them where you want them.
I agree. And breaking down some of Buffalo's stats, we first start with Josh Allen, who's playing just at a Pro Bowl level right now. 1,370 yards, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and he's been sacked 5 times. So the offensive line's done a pretty good job of keeping him upright. And he's been able to make some pretty good plays with his feet. So what's going to be one key to keep Josh Allen from breaking out and getting a big run?
You got to keep him in the pocket. He's a really good pocket passing quarterback, but that's really the game plan with Josh Allen. You got to make him a pocket passer, and you got to make him impatient. One of the big things is you have to have him to where, um, where he has to be a dink and dunk kind of a quarterback, where he has to take the 3 to 5 yard plays instead of the 20 to 30 yard plays, because at at one point Josh Allen is going to basically get impatient, and he's going to throw the ball deep, and it's not going to be there. And the Titans got to be ready to pick those plays off and get those turnovers. But that's the key. You got to make Josh Allen a think and dunk quarterback. More like an Alex Smith type of quarterback, where he has to just take the check down and be satisfied with that. So I think that's going to be the key for defending Josh Allen.
And I think I remember you were talking on Rossi's show yesterday, and I believe you said that Josh Allen was almost playing at a Cam Newton like level.
Yeah, he reminds me of Cam Newton a lot, especially with the way that Cam played in that 2015 season where he was the MVP, where he did a lot of things, basically running and throwing. They do a lot of QB power, QB sweeps kind of play calls where Josh Allen you think he's gonna throw it, but he's really not gonna throw it. He's really running. So they use him a lot, and it's kind of ironic because Sean McDermott, who's the head coach of the Bills, was the defensive coordinator with the Carolina Panthers during that Super Bowl season that Cam had.
And they brought over some pretty good assistants too. That with Brian Dable and Ken Dorsey.
Yep, absolutely.
So there's definitely something with that staff over there. I could definitely see some head coaching potential, but that's for another day.
Yeah, I'm a big Brian DeBall fan though. I do like the way he calls games, so I'm definitely one of his biggest fans.
But I definitely see some pretty big things in his future. But also, Allen's got some pretty good targets to throw through as well. Where you have Stephon Diggs, who's already got 374 yards and a touchdown, which is strange just to see him have a single touchdown. You have Emmanuel Sanders having 322 yards and 4 touchdowns, and Dawson Knox with 261 and 5 touchdown passes, being their reliable tight end, which was a position of concern going into the season. So, what do you think is going to be the key element here in cutting off these weapons?
You kind of have to neutralize them. Dawson Knox to me is the most underrated weapon on his offense. What he's done over the last 3 or 4 games is he's been one of the better tight ends in football. We talk about the Kelsey and Waller, but Knox has been in that discussion at least this year. The way he's playing, and that's really honestly, you really think about it, that's Allen's really favorite guy to go to. More like his security blanket. If he needs a big play, he's going to Dawson Knox or he's going to Emmanuel Sanders. Diggs hasn't really had that big game. He's had some decent games, but he hasn't had that impact that he had last season in his first year in a Buffalo Bills uniform. So I think the way to kind of defend them, you gotta just keep everything in front. You just gotta neutralize, and you gotta basically when they get to the point where they in the red zone, don't give up the touchdowns, give up field goals, give up. That's really the best way to defend a really good offense like the Bills.
Indeed. As we were talking about earlier before the show started, bend don't break.
Bend but don't break. It's not very exciting, but it is effective as long as everybody is bought in. So it's an effective strategy.
Well, getting a quick look at their best defensive players before we get to score predictions. Micah Hyde is definitely their best secondary player. 3 interceptions, 3 passes deflected, 21 tackles, and a sack. They're going to have their hands full trying to keep an eye on him as he moves around the field, and he can get put into blitz coverages, and he's pretty quick. So what's a very effective way of trying to neutralize Hyde and keep him from getting on the island and getting the receiver on with him?
That's going to be all Tannehill. Tannehill and really Ben Jones as well, because Ben Jones is the guy, he's the center, he's the guy who's going to have to look at the blitz coverages and see who's the Mike, who's the guy that could go, who could be blitzing. And Tannehill has to know where Michael Hyde is at all times. Is he in the slot? Is he out deep? Is he close to the line of scrimmage? It's going to be up to Tannehill to know where Michael Hyde is at all times and know when to test him out and when not to test him out. Because Michael Hyde is very aggressive safety. And if he has an opportunity to pick a pass off, most likely he will. He has very good ball skills. So Tannehill has to be very, very careful on where Michael Hyde is at all times.
Agreed. Hyde is definitely turning into a young ball hawk, but we don't want those skills coming out tonight. So, Ryan, it's all said and done. We've broken down what we like, what they need to do. What is the final score going to be tonight?
Oh, this was tough. I think the Titans. This is one of those games where the Titans always show up. Usually, when you talk about the Titans and they play in their quality of who they play, it's basically depends on who's the opponent. Because if it's the opponent that's mediocre, below average, those are the games that scare me the most as a Titans fan. But if it's a game like this where you're going against one of the best teams in the National Football League, this is where the Titans are at their best. The mainstream media is not going to pick them. Nobody's going to talk about them. It's all about the Bills and how dominant they have been. And, I give them credit. They have been dominant. But I think something strange in the Nashville air. And I think that the Bills are going to be in for a rude awakening because they're actually going to be playing against a solid opponent, and they're going to get the best of the Tennessee Titans because we haven't seen it yet. Mostly all the key pieces are going to be playing today, and I got the Titans winning this game by the score of 31-28.
Good pick. I myself as well am on board with everything that you said. And Mike Vrabel is a master at preparing his team for playing in big games. It doesn't matter who they match up against. Even if they end up losing that game, it wasn't like there was no fight. But this isn't the case. This is a case where you have a good team coming in town. Like you said, the attention's off the Titans, and they love it that way. They fly under the radar, and that's where they excel. So I will stick with my original pick from last Monday. I give the Titans the win. It will be a shootout. The defenses will be tested, but Tennessee comes out with a win, 35-32.
I liked it.
And everybody will be enjoying themselves, so have fun out there tonight. Be safe, and don't get in any fights. I don't want to see you all on NFL memes. I don't want to see y'all getting ganged up and beat up. Don't do that. Just be smart. Walk away.
Don't throw the mustard.
Yeah, don't throw that mustard. That costs money, y'all.
Yeah. Food prices are high.
That's some damn expensive mustard.
Yeah. Name brand mustard. So I know somebody, parent, got to be very upset.
Well, at least, it wasn't Food Club, so I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Break down some comments real quick before we go to break. Let's Tighten Up Podcast said he used to go to Memphis Explorers Arena games in South Haven. That had been a pretty good time.
Yeah.
Especially, those are pretty cheap tickets to get, too. So, people will go and have a good time. Al Pierce says, Jeremy McNichols left warm-ups early and walked inside the locker room with Mike Vrabel. We'll wait and see what happens there. But we have to remember, Darrington Evans is more than likely suited up, so he may go tonight.
Yep. Definitely a good replacement for McNichols. Finally can see what Evans can bring to the table.
We're definitely excited and want to see him get out there. Al Pierce also says, go Titans, kick Buffalo Bill tail.
Ola Shrug, Big Al, what's going on?
Al's definitely loving this, and he's geared up and ready to go. And everybody else is waiting for the kickoff, but we're keeping you company till then. But first, we got to take a quick break. And when we come back, I've got an idea about who should be the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm sure Ryan's got some pretty good ideas too.
Absolutely.
So we'll take a quick break and be right back. I'm Michael Bishop of the Power Hour. Back in a few seconds. The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming to you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop. Joining me tonight is Ryan Harris. We're having a good time talking football, talking Titans, and getting ready for the Monday night matchup between the Tennessee Titans and the Buffalo Bills on ESPN. Ryan, definitely want to get you to shout out to everybody, let them know where to find you, because Ryan Harris has got some good insight, and people need to find it.
Absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Harris 662. I guess I got a couple of podcasts. The first one is the Post Game Huddle. You can follow that at Post Game Huddle on Twitter. You can also follow the new podcast, which is the Jump Pass at the Jump Pass TN at the Jump Pass TN as in Tennessee.
Check the man out. He's got good stuff. I've listened to it. Dude knows what he's talking about. So he's definitely worth checking out. Ryan has got the inside. And I'll give myself a quick plug as well. So thank you for joining, and remember, if you love the show, help it grow. Join the Power Hour at Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, at the Power Hour 615. And don't forget to check out the YouTube channel. And also, I'm on TikTok. Every day on TikTok, you've got a chance to check me out. I do PowerPoints every Tuesday through Friday. Well, Ryan, the Las Vegas Raiders are in a pretty big bunch, and they are definitely going to be looking for a new head coach, which is inevitable because that worked out so well, paying John Gruden $10 million or $100 million for 10 years.
I still don't believe it.
I don't think anybody can, but it was Mark Davis's money, so he can do what he wants with it.
He's not struggling.
No, especially with that big, giant Roomba out in the desert that they live in. So, they got money. And putting all the scores down there for you all from yesterday if you didn't get to check out the game. So, definitely check that out if you don't know who lost or who won. And if you don't know that, where were you yesterday? But anyway, getting back to the point, Ryan, it's very inevitable that Mark Davis is not going to be afraid to go out and get a coach and pay whatever it takes. So, we're each going to get 3 shots at trying to figure out who we think will be the best fit for the Raiders going forward. So, Ryan, I'll let you put your 3 out first. So, the floor is yours, sir.
All right, so I did some research, and I think the Raiders, they made this big splash and try to get John Gruden, which they did get John Gruden, and you kind of saw how they ended. So I think they need to get back into the drawing board and get some actual true NFL minds, because I think that's going to be very important. So I got these 3 names. Ironically, they're all offensive-minded coaches. The first one I got is Eric Bieniemy. I think he's the Chiefs' offensive coordinator. He's been in the name for really the last 2 or 3 years. Just hadn't really found a team that wanted to give him a shot. But I think he's a great mind. I think a lot of people say it's all Andy Reid. I don't think it's all Andy Reid. I think Eric Bieniemy does have a say so, an input in that Chiefs offense. So I think it would be a great, a great opportunity for him to kind of coach up Derek Carr, which I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he gets a little bit overhated at times, but I do think that Derek Carr is a solid quarterback, and the Raiders do really have a really good offense. If you really look at it, the offensive line, it's a little bit of their weak spot, but I think their offense is really good. The second person I got is Joe Brady. Joe Brady, offensive coordinator. Yeah, offensive coordinator from the Carolina Panthers. He's kind of got that Sean McVay kind of thing going. Young. He's only 32 years old. You saw what he did at LSU as the basically the main guy for Joe Burrow, Heisman Trophy season, and he had a lot to do with Joe Burrow having the kind of year he had in college. He's done some decent things with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has kind of, got back down to earth recently, but he's done some good things with Sam Darnold. He did some good things with Teddy Bridgewater. I thought Teddy Bridgewater had a solid season last season. So I think Joe Brady is definitely going to be a very popular name, and I think the Raiders should put their name in the hat and try to see if they can scoop him up. And then the last guy, I kind of mentioned how much of a fan I am of his, and that's Brian DeBall for the Buffalo Bills. He's the offensive coordinator as well. I think he's the way he has basically transitioned Josh Allen from being basically just a downfield chucker to being actual a NFL quarterback and being one of the best quarterbacks in the league is pretty amazing to me. I don't think that has nothing to do with Sean McDermott because Sean McDermott is a defensive minded guy. I think that's all Brian DeBall. And I think Brian DeBall has done a very, very good job of basically utilizing the quarterback that he has, knowing what he can do well, what he can't do well. And I think he'll be great for the Raiders offense and kind of utilize the same kind of skill set because Derek Carr, he's not the athlete that Josh Allen is, but he kind of has some of those capabilities of throwing the ball downfield and making plays, rather in the pocket or kind of scrambling a little bit outside of the pocket and making plays as well.
Really good choices. I'm going to agree with a lot of those. Just getting to a quick comment real quick. Let's Tighten Up Podcast said that John Gled said that Darian Evans isn't playing, so that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, because one running back was already inactive, Sargent, and now McNichols having some issues, and now Evans is not playing. That's a lot of King Henry. I don't know who that. Yeah, I don't know who's the backup of the backup. So that's going to be really interesting.
And especially Sargent's inactive, so
yeah,
we're really going to have to wait and see who comes out. I mean, McNichols may come back. Maybe he's going to the bathroom. We don't know.
Hopefully that's the case, and that's not going to be good. I think Blasingame might be the backup to all those backups if they don't play. So it's not good. It's not good at all.
Well, I mean, if they want to play some hard smash mouth, then we'll definitely keep our eye out. But Al Pierce just brought up McNichols just came back out, so I think we don't have to worry about that. We were just speculating. We were worried. We're just trying to figure out what's going on. But thanks for keeping us all in the loop.
It was a bathroom break.
It was a potty break. He had to run out there. That's understandable. Well, all right. You gave your 3. Now I'm going to give my 3. Let's throw that up. Well, all right. I've got an honorable mention. Doug Peterson, to me, won a Super Bowl, has head coaching experience. Forget the fact what happened at Philly. He was battling it out with a GM that didn't like him in the first place anyway, and the relationship became sour. I think Mark Davis is going to do what he can to make this work. He's a very easy guy to work with, and he's going to pay no matter what to get the right guy. And anybody that's won a Super Bowl should be on anybody's radar to be a head coach.
I like that.
So moving to the official 3, hit number 3, I'm going to go out and throw money at the best coach in college football at the moment. Lincoln Riley right now is that guy. He is a culture builder. The man has continually put Oklahoma in the college football playoffs or in big bowl games. He's a great motivator, he's a great architect, and a great offensive mind. And he continues to find young talent around the nation. But I would like to see what he would do in an NFL setting. I think he's one of those Pete Carroll guys. If he got to the league, he could succeed because he has the personality and he has the drive. And I think that's what Mark Davis is looking for to lead his team. Bringing up number 2, Eric Bieniemy. I felt that this is his year to be a head coach. I think no matter what happens, this is his final year in Kansas City. He's got so much potential to help a team move forward. And if I'm Mark Davis, I'm going to hire somebody that I know works for my rival team because I want that info. I want to know how Patrick Mahomes works. I want to know how to stop Andy Reid's offense. And Mark Davis is the kind of guy, he doesn't have what Al Davis had like his dad did. But Mark Davis is just about there where he's competitive enough to do what it takes to get an advantage over an opponent that he sees every year twice. So Bieniemy to me makes perfect sense. And my number 1 pick, you've been digging in my playbook. There you go.
All right.
What's more to say? The man has been successful everywhere that he has gone. I have never seen anybody just have so much success at every stop he's been. It was at Carolina. He was at Alabama. He was at New England. And now he's doing it in Buffalo. To me, Dabble is the perfect guy that you bring in. He's a perfect guy that players love playing for. He can build a culture. And Ken Dorsey's going to come with him. And Ken Dorsey, to me, is the next best offensive coordinator that no one's heard about. So, yeah. I feel that he's the perfect fit. Any of those three. And Mark Davis has the money and the wherewithal to get it done.
Can I put in an honorable mention of my own?
Of course.
Okay, if they were to go internal, I would say Greg Olsen is definitely an honorable mention. You mentioned about the past success. He was the driving force of the Rams offense. They had Axel Bruce and Torrey Holt, Steven Jackson, Mark Bolger. And then also, if you look at those Jaguars teams from 05 and 06, they were bad, yes, but their offense was really, really pretty good. I mean, they had, Blake Bortles was a very good fantasy league quarterback, not so much a real life quarterback, but they had weapons. They had the Allen brothers, Allen Robinson and Allen Hearns. So their offense was pretty good, and Greg Olsen was the reason why. So I think if they were to go in house, I say Greg Olsen would be the pick.
I definitely like that in-house pick. You never know, especially with some of these guys. And the players already know them, so it's an easy transition.
Right.
So that would definitely be worth looking at and continuing to monitor. Al Davis has got the money. He's going to get it done, but we'll see when and who. Al Pierce says, perfect night. Death to the Red Sox and death to the Bills. Let's go. Al Pierce is apparently rooting for Houston. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Just keep them away from trash cans, and I guess we'll be okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Week 7, we've got picks to make. That's just how this works. We get picks out early, so you got the info to do with whatever you need to. Bet, keep it in your pocket. It's your choice. That's just the kind of guy I am. So we'll take a quick break. Ryan and I will go over the Week 7 games and who we like. I'm Michael Bishop with the Power Hour, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. As the new NFL season dawns upon us, Tennessee Titan fans have the ultimate desire, and that desire is to see their team hoist the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the season. And through it all, we expect a lot of great highs and maybe even a little lows. But it all comes to one thing, that we all love the two-tone blue. And going forward, fans are looking for something fresh, something new, something exciting. Looking for a show that's going to give you all the stats, highlights, and accolades that you're looking for? Well, it's time to jump into the new revolution. That is the Power Hour. The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming you on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and thank you for joining us Monday evening. We're going to get you out to Monday Night Football. Trust me, we'll get through these picks as soon as we can. Got to give a shout out to my friend Ryan Harris for joining us tonight. It's been great having you here. Love getting insight from people that just have a love and appreciation for the game, and you're very knowledgeable, sir, and I truly thank you for joining us tonight.
No, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the show. It's been great.
Well, we'll definitely have to keep you coming in and keep that perspective fresh, because I find guys that I like, I want to keep them in here. Dude knows football, you're coming in, so believe me, you're on the list.
Oh, well, I'm glad to be on the list.
Ryan Harris is officially on the Power Hour list. Breaking news. If I can track it, I will. Oh, all right, guys. Week 7 picks. Let's go. Short screen. And throwing it up. Well, all right, Ryan, here we go. Breaking down Week 7 games. Let's get you up there. Well, let's try this. There we go. No, not that. There we go. And there we go. There we go. We're up here. I don't know what happened, but we fixed it. All right, Week 7 picks. Breaking it down. Thursday Night Football. We've got Denver and Cleveland matching up at 8:20 on Fox. Ryan, who do you like?
Oh, both of these teams kind of struggling. Denver started out hot; they lost three in a row. Cleveland's been struggling with injuries and everything. Um, I'm gonna go with the home team. I think Cleveland they need a win desperately. Well, both teams really do, but I think Cleveland's gonna pull it out. It's gonna be a close game.
And I'm with you on that. I like the home team in this one. Historically, on Thursday Night Football, the home team's usually the well-prepared team, and I think Cleveland bounces back. I know it's hard to try and figure out, especially with Baker Mayfield's injury at this point, but I still feel a little more confident with Cleveland than I do with Denver. So I'll roll with the Browns. Moving on to our next matchup, the Sunday lineups coming up on 1 o'clock on CBS. We've got the Cincinnati Bengals taking a trip to the Baltimore Ravens. Ryan, in this classic AFC North slobber knocker, who do you think's getting this one?
This would be a good opportunity for the Bengals to kind of put themselves in a position of letting the world know that they are for real. But I don't I don't really trust them right now, and I really kind of don't trust the Ravens either. But I like the Ravens in this matchup. They're at home. They play well at home. The defense plays better at home, and Lamar has been playing some great football. So I'm rolling with the Ravens on this one.
I'll have to throw my Lee Corso out and say, not so fast, my friend. The Baltimore Ravens offense has been amazing to watch the last few games, but I don't trust their defense. The Ravens have gotten in too many situations where they're playing in tight games. So here we go. I'm going to throw it out early. I'm calling it the upset of the week. The Cincinnati Bengals go to Baltimore and steal a win from the Ravens.
Hey, all right.
Will
Wouldn't
they
be
do it?
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals win though, but I'm just taking the safe pick on this one.
I don't blame you. I go nuts sometimes, and I got to be a little wild. Variety gets boring.
I understand.
You got to keep the show fresh. 1 o'clock matchup on Fox. The Washington football team takes a trip to Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. Ryan, in this matchup of two teams with a pretty good defense and a Hall of Fame quarterback, who do you got?
Well, Washington has been disappointing so far, especially on their front four. The defense has been pretty problematic. I thought the offense would struggle, but the offense has actually been better than their defense. And Green Bay is rolling. Really, nobody's talking about Green Bay a whole lot. They kind of just been under the radar, winning 5 in a row. I like Green Bay here. Basically, it's going to be pretty close in my opinion, but I think Green Bay pulls it out.
Yeah, I don't want to get too wild on this pick, so I'm going safe. Green Bay.
Yeah.
Safe pick, Green Bay. No argument. And 1 o'clock on Fox, we've got the Atlanta Falcons taking a trip to the Miami Dolphins. Ryan, take a shot.
All right. I'm surprised Miami is actually playing. Consider the fact they were in London last week. They usually let the teams that play in London have the bye week, but I'm I'm gonna go with the road upset here. I think Atlanta coming off of I think it was a bye. Yeah, coming off from a bye, they got some time to kind of get together, especially on offense. I like what I saw from Atlanta the last couple of games on offense. I'm going with Atlanta, and this one. Miami's really been struggling.
And I'm going to agree with you on that. I like Atlanta coming off a bye, and I think Matty Ice getting rest is what he needs, and this rejuvenates the team and gets them back and more focused. So Atlanta on the road, good pick. I will roll with that as well. Our 1 o'clock matchup on CBS, an AFC East rivalry between the New York Jets at the New England Patriots. Ryan, in this matchup of just the the East Coast foes, who walks away with the win?
Another team coming off a bye, the Jets. I don't like them coming off a bye in this case. I think New England. A lot of opportunities missed. They got to have this game if they want to, at least consider thinking about going to the playoffs. I say New England at home here.
And I agree. I like New England at home as well. I think they get a little focused. I think Josh McDaniels gets a little more creative with the playbook. And just what the doctor ordered, a dose of the Jets. The Patriots bounce back. Moving to a 1 o'clock matchup on Fox. This should be an interesting matchup. Carolina Panthers at the New York Giants. Giants still looking terrible, but Carolina is slumping. So which team gets back into it?
I'm going to roll with the road team here. Carolina, their defense is really good. The Giants, especially Daniel Jones, having issues turning the ball over, fumbles, interceptions, things of that nature. Their offensive line is not good. And Carolina, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I got Carolina winning this.
I will roll with Carolina as well. The Giants have broken my heart all year every time I picked them. I'm putting them in timeout. No more, New York. You're in the doghouse. I'm done. Carolina wins this one. Then we get to our afternoon matchups, a 4:05 game on Fox. The Detroit Lions at the Los Angeles Rams. I can ask who you're going to pick, Ryan, but I'm pretty sure I know who you're going to pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's Stafford going against his old team. It's Goff going against his old team. Don't be surprised if Goff has his best game, but I still like the Rams here, really by 2 scores. So I say the Rams. It's kind of like one of my locks of the week.
I wanted to put this as my lock of the week, but I battled back and forth, and there's still a couple of games on here that I liked a little better. I don't think it's going to be as close. I think the Rams are just clicking on all cylinders, and Detroit just has no answer right now. So unfortunately, easy win for the Rams. Detroit continues to be winless. They are in dire need of more help. And hopefully the season ends for them very soon. Our next 4:05 matchup on Fox. The matchup of the Philadelphia Eagles at the Las Vegas Raiders. So Ryan, I think this is going to be a pretty physical game on the defensive fronts, but who's going to come out smelling like roses?
I was very impressed with the Raiders last week with everything that transpired. They played inspired football. They played well on defense. Derek Carr looked really good against a really good Broncos defense. And I expect more of the same. So I'm going with the Raiders here.
No argument here. I just feel like the Raiders are the more balanced team, and even with the turmoil, they seem to be just handling themselves the best that they can in a bad situation. Home win helps heal things. Definitely going to roll with the Raiders here as well. Then our next afternoon matchup, a 4:25 game on CBS. The Houston Texans at the Arizona Cardinals. And Ryan, Houston could pull a win, but I'll let you make your call here.
Yeah, this is my other lock of the week. I don't see it. Houston cannot score, and Arizona can score a lot. And this could be one of those games where it could get ugly really quick. I got the Cardinals here as the only undefeated team winning this matchup.
So Ryan just broke out not only a lock of the week, but a super ultra mega lock of the week on this one. So
yes.
I am going to put my lock of the week on this one as well. I feel so bad for Houston for a little bit, but Arizona is just a monster right now. Everything they need and everything they have going is working in their favor. So, at the moment, Arizona wins. Lock of the week for me. Lock of the super ultra mega lock of the week for Ryan. So y'all might want to put some money on that and just go out and do what you got to do.
Yes. I would say yes. Go ahead and put all your chips on the table.
All in. In our next 4:25 matchup on CBS, a pretty good game of interest. The Chicago Bears take a trip to Tampa Bay to face Tom Brady and the Bucs. So, Ryan, who do you like in this one with a very good defense against a really good offense?
The Bears can make it interesting if they continue to basically run the football, play great defense like they've been doing. But it's just too much offense, too much to keep up with. And I like the Bucks here. It's just the Bears don't have enough offense to keep up with the Bucks.
And I agree. I just feel like I fought with this one for a little bit, and I felt like maybe this could be an upset because you always kind of overlook a team that Tom Brady should dominate. But for some reason, Chicago just felt to me like it's kind of a scale. I want to say that this might be a game that the Bucs sleep through, and usually teams have these games. But I still feel confident enough that Tom Brady can handily defeat the Bears, and I'm going to go that way. I'll just say the home team wins on this one. Bucs get the win here, but I think they're going to struggle a little bit offensively. Then our matchup on Sunday Night Football, an 8:20 NBC game, we have the Indianapolis Colts matching up against the San Francisco 49ers. Ryan, in a matchup that looks kind of blah, who do you got?
I kind of struggle with this one. It kind of depends on who's the quarterback for San Francisco. Because I feel like if Trey Lance is the quarterback, I kind of like the Colts' chances here. But if Jimmy Garoppolo plays, I definitely like the 49ers' chances. I'm going to go on the assumption that Jimmy Garoppolo is playing, and I'm going to pick the 49ers to win this ball game.
I'll go with you as well. I think if Garoppolo plays, I think San Francisco will be fine. I just don't have faith in Indy. Carson Wentz, I still think there's some major issues there with the injury that they're not telling us. And it really worries me, especially going down the road. It's going to get harder for Indy. And they're already struggling as it is. So it's tough to see the road team get a win here. San Francisco, safe bet. And then moving on to our Monday night game on ESPN at 8:15, the New Orleans Saints take a trip to the Seattle Seahawks. Ryan, I like this game, even without Russell Wilson playing in it. So who do you like?
This one was another one where I was really, really struggling to pick a outright winner. But I'm gonna roll with Seattle. New Orleans, Jameis Winston, when he's been good, he's been really good, like 4 touchdowns, 5 touchdowns good. But when he's been bad, he's been really bad. And I think we're probably gonna see a little bit of both, but more on the bad side. And I think Seattle is going to pull the home upset here.
I thought about this as well. And I got to roll with New Orleans. I just feel like Jameis Winston's going to have a really good game on the road. I don't know why. It's a gut feeling. Even as just kind of wishy-washy as New Orleans has been, I still feel confident enough that they can go in Seattle and win.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, coming from a bye week and then losing that game to the Giants, I can see it happening.
At least for my sake, I hope that's what happens. But we'll see. I've been pretty good on these picks, and my guests have usually been pretty good as well on the picks. So that's the Week 7 picks, everybody. Got that in the bag. Gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll break down next week's game. Yeah, I know we're talking about next week's game. We got a game we're playing tonight, but this is how the show works. I don't change things. The wheel keeps moving. That's how we roll. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll break down Titans versus Chiefs. I'm Michael Bishop with the Power Hour. Back in a few seconds. The Power Hour is on the road. On October 24th, live at Nissan Stadium, the Tennessee Titans will play the Kansas City Chiefs. The Power Hour will be there to give fan interviews, the full game day experience, and live updates. Join us October 24th, 9 a.m. Central, live at Nissan Stadium. The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and thank you for joining this Monday evening. We know the game's coming up real soon. We'll definitely get this wrapped up for you and get you out on the TV. Want to thank Ryan Harris for joining me tonight. Just an amazing guest and a great having him as a friend on the show. We definitely want to get you back here more and get more cool perspectives to just game analytics. We enjoy what you do, and I'm just super happy that I was able to get you in tonight.
Hey, I'm just as excited as you for inviting me, and I can't wait to do this again soon.
We'll definitely get you in as soon as we can, buddy. But right now, finally, we're going to get down to next week's game. I will be there personally doing interviews and meeting with fans. So make sure you come out and see the Power Hour. Like I said, we'll be out there. But I've got a game to cover too. So Titans of the Chiefs, 1 o'clock matchup on CBS. So Ryan, breaking down some of the details, as much time as we have, what's going to be the keys for the Titans to score a win against the defending AFC champion Chiefs?
Basically, the same game plan as they have. They're going to have to play against Buffalo in regards of containing Mahomes, have him in the pocket, don't let him escape the pocket, throw outside, and I think this will be a big game for the Tennessee Titan offense. Kansas City has been bad. They were good against Washington, but other than that, they've been giving up 30-plus points to every opponent that they have faced against. There's no reason at all that I believe that that the Titans can do the exact same thing. They got the offense to keep up with Kansas City. I mean, this is the reason why you would pick somebody like Julio to put up more points on the board against opponents like Kansas City. And if for the defense, they just have to continue to be patient. Don't try to blitz all the time against Mahomes, because that's what he's really good at. Make him take the small yardage, bend but don't break. Like I said again, it's effective when utilized correctly. And basically, if the Chiefs get into the red zone, don't stop them. Don't have them. Don't give up touchdowns. Only settle for field goals. And if you can do that, you putting yourself in a position to win the ball game.
And definitely when it comes to this game, I definitely feel a little more confident matching up with the Chiefs, with their defense being just absolutely just putrid. And I don't see their defense improving anytime soon. So it feels like you've got an offensive shootout set up. And I agree with you. I think that Ryan Tannehill, this might be his best game upcoming. We'll see what happens tonight. But you just kind of get that feeling going forward that somebody's going to have a breakout game, whether it be Henry, Tannehill, or even Julio or AJ.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these next two games, this game in Buffalo against the Bills and the game against the Chiefs, these are Ryan Tannehill type of games. These are kind of teams that they know what the Titans like to do. They like to run the football. They like to use Derrick Henry, and they're going to try all they can to basically sell out the run. And basically, it's going to make Ryan Tannehill be the hero. And I think Ryan Tannehill, given the opportunity, is more than capable of moving the ball downfield and putting up points and getting those receivers involved. And I think that Ryan Tannehill has the opportunity here to kind of show to show everybody that, hey, I'm a good quarterback too. And I think these are the games where he can be at his very, very best.
Tannehill definitely looking for that signature game of the year. Could it be tonight or could it be next week? We will find out. Well, Ryan, we got to make a pick on this and get a score in. How do you feel about Tennessee's chances about winning this game? What's the final score?
Oh, final score, Titans. Like I said, I'm very confident in the Titans beating the Chiefs. I think it's going to be another high-scoring game. I don't think the defense is ready to shut down an offense like Kansas City, but I think that they can hold their own in some points of the ball game. And I got the Titans win 35-30.
Good pick. I will also say you've got a high-scoring game. Basically, that's going to happen. I feel that Tennessee's going to come out and swing, but Kansas City's going to swing as well. And the one thing Mahomes can do really well is make plays on the run. He's, bar none, untouchable when it comes down to that. So I think Kansas City gets their points, but I see an overtime game here. I think the game goes into overtime. Tennessee gets the ball with the coin flip, and they get the first points. I'm calling it. Tennessee wins the game 34-28.
I like that pick. I like the score too.
Well, I think it's very possible that this would happen, so we'll see as that goes on. But we've got a game to get to tonight. So we put on a great show for y'all, and I want to once again thank Ryan Harris for joining us tonight on the show. Ryan, once again, I want to give you a chance to shout out and let everybody know where to find you and all your great content.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been a great show. Been one of the better shows I've been in. Rossi was great. P. Sharp was great. So I'm having a blast talking to everybody that loves the Titans. But you can find me at Twitter at Ryan Harris 662. You can also find me at the postgame huddle at postgame huddle, and you can also find me at the new podcast, which is called The Jump Pass, which is The Jump Pass TN, and TN as in Tennessee.
Ryan Harris, one of the busiest men right now, out on the web, getting content out. Check it out. It's good stuff. Ryan, thank you for being on the show. We've had a great time tonight, and we're really excited to get you back on here as soon as we can. But we definitely want to get some comments read out. Sorry, I try to keep up with these all. Al Pierce loves the videos. Thanks, Al. I put these out for you. That's what I do. Shout out to Rossi. What's up, guys? Rossi's definitely watching the game, and he is big mad at some of these Buffalo Bill fans, apparently. And says, spend your money, Nashville Bills fans, and get sent home crying. That's what it's about. I mean, if they want to send all their fans, they can. Go ahead. We got your money. Game over. And we're taking the win, so there you go. And Let's Tighten Up Podcast. Great show, fellas. Thank you, buddy. Definitely going to have you on the show again soon. I'm pretty sure I got you booked. I just have to check my schedule. I'm running on fumes today, so it's been busy. So thank you, everybody, for joining us on the show. Check Ryan Harris out. Great content. Great dude. Dude's going to tear it up and give you the best info out there. And once again, don't forget to check out my stuff at the Power Hour 615. I am on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch at that address. And check out the YouTube channel. Always got new videos coming out every Monday. And I'm on TikTok. So check out the PowerPoints every Tuesday through Friday. Guys, it's time to get ready for this game. We've got to tighten up tonight. Big game against the Chiefs. Let's get this done. So for Ryan Harris, I'm Michael Bishop. Thank you for watching the Power Hour. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow. Tighten up. Thank you for watching the Power Hour. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more content. And you can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and TikTok at the Power Hour 615. Thank you and have a great night.